Hello and welcome back to Aragami. This will be the final episode of Aragami on this channel. And it's not because I hate the game and I refuse to play it anymore because it is awful. Not at all. The game is fine, even good to a degree. But I find it just too monotonous and samey and too long. It's just moving too slowly in regards to having more cool things happen. Every level feels the same. Every little gameplay thing I do feels the same, and it doesn't feel like I have enough cool new options and things to do every level. It just all sort of continues along the same plotting path and slowly revealing more drip feed about the story, which on its own isn't very interesting anyway, sadly. I just can't really find much reason to care much at all about the world or the characters in it. And I think that's kind of a serious problem when a game doesn't have enough gameplay to back it up like this one does. It's a shame because I don't think it's bad, but it's just not fun enough. On top of that, what really bugs me is the dialogue in general. Not just the writing, which on its own I think is pretty uninspired, pretty boring, and there's so little character in it that I don't really get a sense of either Aragami or Yamiko actually being anyone, like having any character to them. They're so two-dimensional in what they are, and I feel like a lot of their existing characters doesn't really come across in stuff like their word choice, how they phrase sentences, and so on and so on. It all has a really strong like anime feel to it, and that part isn't helped by what I just cannot get over, this standard thing where they say 3 words in their reverberated Japanese, and it's like 4 sentences. It makes no sense to me, and it takes me out of it every time. It's hard to believe it, you know? A game that does this sort of like gibberish meaning actual dialogue well was Ori the Blind Forest. Obviously, I don't mean that Japanese is gibberish, but since I don't understand Japanese anyway, I have no idea what they're actually saying. But obviously if they are saying 4 or 5 words, they are clearly not saying everything that it says on the dialogue. If it's a really long story about this and this guard and this empress and what they're going to do and so on, and they just say 3 words. That is clearly not right then. A game like Ori and the Blind Forest, it's like they made up a language and then they said the language even though it was like subtitled in English. So you had these spiritual magic language words that came across, and it felt like they were actually talking about things. And when names were mentioned as well, you often heard the names. We do see that sometime. You see Kurusu and Aragami and so on. But most other than that, like, that was it. They had these long things, and that just ended up really getting on my nerves in the long shot. I would have forgiven that easily if it's had better character and better writing, really. Which is a bit of a shame, I think. There was a lot of potential in this game, and it didn't fail as such. I just feel like it was too long. They didn't have enough gameplay for the full experience, and the story wasn't interesting enough for the full experience. If this had been a much shorter game, and it kept introducing a couple of new mechanics every so often, and the story was quicker and simpler, and it wasn't this really long journey with multiple confusing flashbacks and questions, I think it would have been done so much better. At least for me. I don't know, maybe other people feel differently about the game than I do. But that was mostly where the game failed in my regard, and I wouldn't say it's a bad game. I wouldn't say that it doesn't deserve to be played. I think it has a really good core gameplay loop. Being a shadow creature, teleporting around, it's fun, it works, and it's always cool to have the choice to be super stealthy or stabbing, but I can't help but consider it like to other games like Mark of the Ninja, which is a masterpiece, and Dishonored, favorite game of all time. So when you try to be a game in that sort of style, albeit more mystical and so on, it just falls flat at wanting to be those things, and it doesn't succeed. So that's why I'm making the choice to end the series now, where it is, at episode 9, well, sort of, and roughly about halfway through the game. It's... Back in the day, I would have continued doing the series even though I sort of lost passion and interest in it, because I felt that I had to finish series that I was doing. But I'm having a different outlook on the channel now, and I want to make sure that I am genuinely enjoying stuff that I am putting out there, so that I don't feel like, I need to go do this, and alright, I needed to do a thing, and I'm not excited about it. I want to feel excited about doing my job. I want to feel excited about sitting down to record, which is something I do for Titanfall. Titanfall is an excellent game, and I'm looking forward to playing it through, and I find myself playing for much longer and longer sessions, rather than this, where I mostly just want to finish quickly because I'm getting bored and I'm running out of interesting things to say or interesting things to talk about. So I think it's for the better for me and for the channel to quit when I'm no longer having as much fun. And I apologize for you if you were really enjoying Aragami and you were really looking forward to seeing the story finished and all the gameplay from start to end. There's nothing I can really do about that except then say sorry, and that I wish things had worked out differently. But I think it's better for me to do something that I really enjoy. And judging by the amount of views and likes and comments and general interaction with Aragami, it doesn't seem that popular with you either. I don't purely judge my videos based on, views and that sort of things, but they are of course a good indicator of if my audience is enjoying it or not. That's the only real way I know if you are enjoying my stuff or not. So I have to make that judgment call. And in the case of Aragami, I judge that it is better for all of us except the chosen hardcore few who really, really love Aragami, that I end this and start something else instead. So that's what I'm going to do. This will be the last episode of Aragami, and I will continue with Titanfall, and it will run to the end. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having so much fun with Titanfall. And another game series will start soon to take the place of Aragami. I'd like to keep at least 2 games running at the same time. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the parts that I did show you. I hope you're not too disappointed with my decision, but it is what I've decided. Thanks as always, and until next time, goodbye.